Hey y'all. So today I want to talk about the most insightful conversation that I've had regarding the last 24 hours and the events of the last 24 hours. After work, I decided to go down to the local Republican headquarters. It turns out after after you watch a sitting president incite a violent insurrection on the national capital, you have questions. Mine were concerning the future of the Republican Party. Primarily, what what were local Republican leaders' stance on the events, on the insurrection, knowing that Trump incited this, or at least knowing that that's what it looks like, knowing that the Republican Party has centered its entire being around a single guy for the past 4 years. How what's the Republican Party going to do after Trump is no longer in the picture in whatever capacity that looks like? And finally, knowing that just like in 2016, the majority of Americans voted against Hillary Clinton, in 2020, the majority of Americans voted against Donald Trump. What were they going to do to refresh their image? How are they going to revitalize their platform? What's the Republican Party going to look like going forward? I never got an opportunity to ask any of these questions, but all of those questions were answered. So, I walk up to the door of the local Republican chapter, and it's a glass door, so you can see inside. Inside are two men. One is both of them are at a desk. On the desk is a smartphone, and it looks like they're having a phone call. One man is wearing a woodland camo Trump hat, and he's sitting down. The other man is not wearing a hat, but he has a Trump 2020 polo shirt, and he's standing up. The guy in the polo shirt, he sees me, because again, glass door, and he waves me in. I go in. Well, not at first. I try to push the door open, and kind of, it's only then that I realized that I had not read the sign that said pool. I remedied this act of genius, and I go into the office. It's a single room office space. I go in, and yeah, it sounds like they're on a phone call. It's on speakerphone, and it sounds pretty serious. The person on the other end is I couldn't make out the words at first because I had just gotten in, but it sounded like she was talking about the future of the Republican Party, and I'm sitting here thinking, wow, what an icebreaker. That's great. Um, but I don't want to interrupt. It's at this point that the gentleman who waved me in, the guy in the shirt, he asks me, "Hey, is there anything I can do to help you?" I I don't want to interrupt their call, so I give the I'll wait hand signal, and I go over across the room, and I go sit down. I'm looking around me, and there's a bunch of Trump paraphernalia for sale and on display. Hats and shirts and flags. Um, there's the cardboard cutout, and then there's um, there's a there's a bust of Abraham Lincoln. It's a bronze bust, and you can see it through the window. And on top of the bust's head is a standard issue red hat with the snapback with the words "Make America Great Again" in, embroidered on it. Okay, so standard issue, sort of, yeah, standard Trump stuff. It's at this point that I start listening to the conversation, which again is on speakerphone in a one room office space with really good acoustics. Wasn't dropping no eaves, wasn't dropped no eaves, sir. In the words of Sam Gamgee. So the lady on the other end is talking about an acquaintance of hers, a family friend. I'm not entirely sure who is locked up because of COVID. Words that she used were locked up because of COVID. And because of that, her friend can't make it to any of the functions. She then says something very peculiar. She says, now, and talking about her friend, now, the moment that vaccine comes out, she's going to jump in line to get it, and then you know what'll happen next. Well, that's interesting, but okay. I'm still sitting there, looking around and listening and pondering, waiting my turn to speak. The man sitting down then talks to the person in the phone, and says, "Well, I just had a meeting with the sheriff before I came down to the office, and he and I both share the same concern." He goes on to say what that concern is. He says, they have the White House, they have the Senate, they have the House. So we're both worried that if something like what's been going on happens again, it's going to happen a lot, and we're not going to have any backup. The something he's talking about is a recent string of vandalism at the local Republican headquarters. Broken windows a few times, graffiti. They apprehended the person, and yeah. So anyway, he continues. The man sitting down. He continues by saying, because what happened yesterday, Antifa, those Antifa people, a lot of good patriots got hurt because of them. He then goes on to say, and we all know, it's obvious that Antifa planned this from the start. It's at this point that I stand up, ready to leave. The man standing up asked me again, "Oh, is there anything that we can help you with?" To which I say, the only two sentences that I've said this entire time, probably 2-3 minutes that I've been here: no, thank you. I think my question answered itself. And I leave. What's the point of me telling you this story? Well, it's twofold. The first point: it would seem to me that the future of the Republican Party is very clear. At least for the moment, at least in the short term. From what I heard last night in the debates over Arizona, Pennsylvania, and Wisconsin, it's pretty clear through the objections of some of the senators. It's pretty clear through what I heard in that conversation that I had today. It's very clear from the rhetoric of Donald Trump. That, at least for now, the Republican Party is still the party of Trump. Okay? My second point is that until I see something different, until I see a shift, I want nothing to do with the Republican Party. I want nothing to do with Trumpers. My stance has always kind of been on that level. But now, after an armed insurrection invoked by their guy, they are digging their heels in. Which to me lets me know that there's no appealing to reason. There's no conversation. There's no discourse. There is the expectation that you blindly and vitriolically accept their version of reality. And anything short of that is, ironically enough, sedition. I guess the takeaway from all of this is, don't waste your time. Don't waste your time with them. Don't waste your time appealing to reason. And I am saying this to myself as well as anyone watching this. Don't waste your time. Y'all have a good day.